You've got the nutrition, you've got the lifestyle, you have the training, but you need to mash it all together as one, and you find it hard to be consistent with those things in the long run. This is the third video of 3 that will teach you on how to implement these things together and actually keep you consistent in the short and the long term. So listen up. There's only going to be one heading today: community/people you are around. This is fundamental when it comes to application. Accountability, number 1, is when you're around the right community and you have the right people around you. That might be your right partner, the right friends, or the right people within your fitness community. You're going to feel far more accountable. Those people will be wondering where you are when you're there training and actually call you out on the matter. Where were you yesterday for training? What's happened in the last 2 days? And this is such an important aspect when it comes to getting the results, because you keep momentum. Momentum will be in here as such an important part, is when you have the accountability and you start adding that, building that momentum, you're going to be in an amazing situation, because every time you drop down, which you have time and time again in the past, there's people around you to keep you accountable, not just the coaches, but the people within the community and at home. The next one would be enjoyment. You need to enjoy what you're doing. So when you're around people and you're having good friends there, you're looking forward to seeing those people on a daily basis, and you're training together with those people, even friendly competition, you're going to enjoy the journey far more, and it doesn't feel such a drag when you are with a community of people in person, or even if it's online, but you're just part of, even something simple like a WhatsApp group that keeps you accountable, or even the application that, for example, I use is TrueCoach, so I can see the person actually ticking off the workouts, which again builds momentum and increases your enjoyment factor along the way. The next one is ability and standards. If your ability is at, a high standard, but you're not actually getting there, well, that is a nightmare for your progress in the long run, because you want to get the best out of yourself with the highest amount of ability. And to do that, you need people around you who are better than you, and that will raise your standards, which will then improve your ability as someone in the gym, because you'll start lifting slightly heavier, you'll start pushing harder, and this is so important when it comes to actually applying it over the long run. The next one is communication. Again, with our program, for example, we have calls online, which are like on a Wednesday, where people join an online call and we communicate how we're feeling for that week. There'll be other people within the community who will communicate how they're feeling and how they've solved that issue that may be very relative to you, as for example, a woman might be there listening to it, or a guy, and they can only relate to certain people. Then they might hear these people speaking about certain subjects that you are having an issue with and how they solved that issue. So you're not just getting help from the coaches, you're getting help from people within the community itself, which makes a huge difference to your overall result in the long term, because you're getting the accountability from the people in there. You're going to be enjoying it a lot more. Your standards and your ability are going to be through the roof, and your communication with people in there to learn new little things that are not always spoken about along the way. And when you combine all this together, that leaves you in a situation with amazing results. Always keep in mind, as a human being, we are social creatures, right? We have to be in a community of people in anything part of our life. A lot of people, when you take yourself out of community, you end up not feeling the way you should. Yes, maybe in the short term it's something you need, but as an overall long-term fix, you need to be around people that are on the same level or above you to then pull your standards up. And this is so important when it comes to actually achieving this in the long term. So many people will get the body fat down maybe halfway to where they want and then put it all back on again, or even less than that, quarter all the way back up. Or they end up, dropping all the weight on some occasions and then putting it all back on and more weight. I think the statistic is 90% of people that lose the weight that they want to achieve put it back on again and more weight on top of that, which is a nightmare, because that means you've not learned the fundamentals. But even if you get the fundamentals right, which is the main thing of this video, you need to make sure the major fundamental is you're around people that are also keeping you accountable. And this is the biggest part to the transformations that we get as a team that I've noticed that is so important when it comes to the longevity of everything together. Because without that, you're doing it on your own, and as when someone is on their own and they make mistakes, there's no one around them to call them out on their nonsense and keep them accountable along the way. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, click the subscribe button below and join the journey. You'll get updates on new fat loss videos, and this will keep you accountable along the way. And as your knowledge grows bigger, it will really help you get the body composition and the confidence that you've always wanted.